Hi all! I decided to make a little video to explain how to do the calibration and use the Mi-Sphere converter. Calibration is mostly necessary due to certain deviations in sensor position that take place during production. As we can see here, the sensors are mounted sideways from the lenses. There's probably a mirror inside there, and each of those parts can introduce some variance in the final image. In a perfect world, the sensor would give us the image from the exact center of each lens, and they would be perfectly aligned with each other. But in real life, there's some variance between the images. This results in a visible stitch line, especially if there are detailed objects nearby. You can see an example of the problem in this image. Mi-Sphere Converter lets you do a calibration for the specifics of your camera, and on top of that uses an advanced stitching algorithm that sort of finds features in both sides of the image and makes sure they overlap properly. The results speak for themselves. Calibration is fairly easy and you only need to do it once. What we basically need to do is find corresponding points of interest along the perimeter of the spheres and mark them so the application can do the necessary calculations. To begin, we open the image in our gallery app of choice and use the share option to send it to Mi-Sphere Converter. As the calibration help section in the app states, the best image for this task is one taken outside at a certain distance from any objects, with the camera facing the ground. So one just like this. To do the calibration, we need to tap the options icon in the bottom right corner and then tap Start. Tap Proceed. Now first we need to move this rectangle to an area of interest, and once we stop, we will get this zoomed in view where we need to mark a unique feature that is visible on both sides. Edges and corners tend to work best. Now we press this plus sign in the bottom right corner to add another point, move the rectangle to the next area, and once again mark unique features. We need to repeat this process to add 5 to 6 points, ideally spread out all over the perimeter of the spheres. And the final one. Alright, so now we press this save icon in the bottom left corner. Wait a moment. And that's it, calibration successfully done. Now we can convert an image. Once again, we need to share it to the Mi-Sphere app from our gallery app of choice. We can use these buttons up here to tilt the view up and down, rotate it, or pan. If you hold the buttons down, a bigger step will be taken. Do note that this preview does not take into account the calibration we just did. It's just a rough preview. So now that we're happy with our image, we can tap the save icon in the bottom left corner and the app will render the result. Now as you see, we are back in the Gallery app where we started. This is because the resulting image was placed in Mi Sphere Converter folder. To get there, we will need a file manager. I prefer Explore. And here is our image. As you can see, the stitching is just perfect.